Putco commuters have been urged to continue seeking alternative modes of transport. The bus service has failed to resume operations as striking workers barricade the main depot at Dobsonville in Soweto. Now, the bus drivers are demanding that the company pays money and bonuses that's owed to them after a 6% wage agreement was signed in 2020. Putco last week dismissed 105 of the bus drivers, cautioning that more jobs could be on the line if the workers don't report for duty. SABC's economics reporter Katlego Legodi is in Soweto and joins us now live. Katlego, good morning. So last week we saw a lot of barricading and, just burning of rubble around the bus depots. Where exactly are you this morning and how's it looking?
Good morning to you, Sakina, and to our viewers at home. We're coming to you live from the Dobsonville depot. This is the main depot for Putco bus. A scene of activities around the barricading of this entrance here with burning tires and, of course, as well as barricades. Other barricades, rubble was just left and strewn here last week. Similar scenes can be seen this morning, in particular just here at the main depot in Dobsonville Soweto, where when we got here, we arrived, we were welcomed by police officials on the ground that were just removing some of the barricades that were left here in the early hours of the morning by the striking bus drivers. The striking bus drivers have taken to the streets again today, just embarking on that demonstration to ensure that those services remain halted here in Soweto. They are calling, of course, for the employer to reverse the dismissal of 105 of them here on the ground, and for the employer as well to come back to the negotiating table in terms of the wage negotiations that they are saying should be backdated to the year 2020. They've gathered here, the bus drivers, just ensuring that no one goes in and comes out of this facility. And the police as well are on standby, and private security as well that has been roped in by Putco to ensure, Sakina, that those that are enforcing and moving ahead with the barricades here and the blocking of this entrance here, the police actually enforces that law. This, of course, coming as well, Sakina, at the back of that second court interdict that the company Putco obtained last week Thursday, already saying that the group that is demonstrating here outside should move from this premises and more or less allow for operations to resume. But that is not the case, as we arrived here this morning to find the bus drivers just gathered here in the middle of the police and the private security officials that are here, just ensuring that they still put pressure on the employer to come back to the negotiating table and by all means reverse the dismissal of their colleagues. But the person that is best suited to just let us in on their demonstration here on the ground is Pumlani Ndlovu. He's a leader here and a bus driver as well, who'll just let us in on what is happening here. Pumlani, welcome to the SABC. We saw last week the management of Putco obtaining that court interdict that was to force you guys to stop the demonstrations that were happening here last week, even happening today, and as well as just putting that word outside, an ultimatum to say that you have to report for duty today. A failure to which those 105 won't be the only employees that are set to be dismissed here. But we're seeing that that did not deter you. You're continuing with demonstrations here on the ground. Maybe just let us in on the plan of action. And we're seeing that the police are also on standby. You're not allowing the buses to operate and get out of this facility.
Thank you, Katlego. As you can see, that there are no buses that are going out. Early in the morning when we came in here, we saw 2-3 buses going out, of which it made a big confusion to the passenger, because we saw some passengers coming in here to ask how the bus is operating today. So we told them that no, there are no buses that are operating here. We tried to stop the operation, as we could see that they were burning tires here in the stone, that we blocked the buses not to go out. So now, but then we came to the resolution that the employer came with a proposal that says he agrees on 6% without a bonus, without a pay, and the bonus will be paid on November. So now we'll stand on 9 o'clock and argue about that and see to come with a conclusion.
So this meaning that this demonstration here on the ground could be halted at around 9 o'clock if the employer comes back to you guys to say that that 6% is something that we can agree on and the bonuses will be paid in November?
Now we are standing here just to caucus about that because the employer said if we agree on that 6% and 5,000 that will be paid or half of the bonus on November, then we will caucus and see if we agree together with the employer.
Ndlovu, thank you very much for your time, sir. The leader here of the demonstrations here on the ground just telling us that there's at least progress in terms of their talks with the employer, agreeing to that 6%. We know very well from Putco's side, just letting us in on those negotiations and the talks that continued until very late last night, where those talks were supposed to have allowed for operations to resume here on the ground. But the bus drivers saying that they are caucusing, they're discussing the latest coming from the employer amongst themselves, and maybe at 9 o'clock I would see a different story where the operations of Putco is concerned. But the bus services as well are just saying that those that are around this area should seek alternative modes of transport, and hoping that maybe in the afternoon this could be a different picture. But the police as well are just standing on guard, ensuring that they are going by all means, just pushing to ensure that court interdict that was obtained last week is enforced if indeed anyone continues with the barricading and the burning of tires outside of this facility. Sakina?
Well, thanks so much. Our reporter there outside the Putco depot in Dobsonville, Katlego Legodi, and it would seem as though there is movement, and we'll check in again as SABC News, the agenda most probably with Katlego after 9, just to see what the workers have decided on the employer's latest offer.